Hey y'all, welcome back to Dots and Beyond. I'm Beth. Today we are going to be doing a plan with me for March 2024. Let's go ahead and get started. I am going to start here on the calendar page for March 2024. This is a Sterling Ink Common Planner. I have it in a Galen leather case. Also have it within a plastic Sterling Ink cover with a little cover page that I've stuck on here. It's very glary underneath the lights. And we're ready to reveal our theme for March 2024. If you're new here, our themes this year are based off of the book 10,000 Doors of January. And our theme for March is the Emerald Door. And yes, I'm going to take some inspiration from the Emerald Isle of Ireland. This is the cover page for March. I do print mine on vellum, but you can definitely print it on regular paper, sticker paper, whatever works best for you. The A5 planner kit is available on my Patreon. There are 3 versions of this cover page. One with a Monday start calendar, which I use, one with a Sunday start, and one where the calendar is removed. In case you wanted to use this at some other point in time, you could do that as well. Here are the printable PDF sticker sheets for March. As always, I have some scenes as well as some different icons of things that I have put together. Last month for February, we had a pink door theme, and all of our little doodads on here were based off of my childhood in Kenya. They also had little mailing logos and things. I have used Celtic knots for this one, so you'll see a little bit of that thrown in here as well. There are 5 sheets total, 3 of the cover page, they count as 1. This we typically do in this format. I also do some numbers, weekly headers, March headers, always a full sheet of some florals, and you can see our secondary color within here is some yellow to help make the green pop. Then I do some quotes from the book 10,000 Doors of January, some planner icons, some buttons or flags, and a little bit of just washi tape. There's also then a last page that has some instructions on it, as well as a story for the Emerald Door. You can download that at my Patreon. You do not have to be a patron to do that. We are ready to go ahead and set up for March. Now, I use my calendar, my full calendar, as a memory keeper. This is where we are in February. I've made it as far as today, 5th. I haven't put anything in here yet for these days. Also, if this is your first video, my entire life has been an upheaval, and I like to use the word discombobulated, because I was supposed to move a week ago, and then things happened with the apartment that I was moving into, and now I'm moving a week from now. I'm living out of boxes. I had to unpack to film my last video for the plan with me for this week, as well as this March plan with me. Things have been a little rough, but we are making do. We're going to go ahead and just add a couple of things to this page. We are going to highlight the top row in our signature color. I'll add a March header over here, like we did the February one here. I will also put down a space for me to write in some of my social media stats, as well as what pens I'm using, so I remember which pens I'm using as my signature color for the month. I always have a gold gel pen, as well as a gold dot marker on hand. They're my secondary color all year long. Then, of course, we're going with greens. So this is a calligraph from Archer and Olive. Typically used in a hoo-hoo or a tombow. Those are packed. This was easier to get to, and lucky for me, it is the right color. And then a dot marker. This one is a shuttle art dot marker, as opposed to a zig clean color dot marker. I know those are very, very popular. This one doesn't actually have a name. It's just green. So we are just going to call it True Green. Now, last month I did come back after I did my plan with me, and I used my circle stickers from the planner kit here on the monthly, and I think I'm going to do that again. Of course, it's going to take me a hot minute to cut out all of these little circle stickers, so we are not going to film that. We're just going to magically put them in. Okay, there we have all of our dates in place, and now that we have that, I'm going to put in one of our headers. But I think this time, instead of putting it over here like I have been, I'm going to go ahead and sneak it in right here, since we have so much space at the beginning of the month, and then add in other little stickers along with, like I said, my marker names, as well as a spot for my monthly stuff. We're going to stick one of these quotes down here that says, "Most people can't tell the difference between truth-telling and madness. Try it sometime and you'll see what I mean." Of course, because this is March, I had to include some clovers in our theme. If you saw my plan with me for this week, you'll know that it is unseasonably warm here. We already had green planned for the theme, obviously, for quite some time. But now I'm definitely feeling all of the garden vibes that I put into this setup. That being said, I definitively do not have a green thumb. I'm very good at killing my plants. Alright, I'm going to stick that there and then connect these with another floral. I am going to use this daisy right there, this green daisy. I'm going to go ahead and cut off most of its little stem so that we just have a flower topper right there. If the lighting has changed a little bit, that's because the timer on my oven went off and I have already gone to do dinner and take a little bit of a break, left everything hooked up. I'm going to take this moment as a reminder that I am a Kiss Nails affiliate because I always wear fake nails. I have for years. These are not, I repeat, these are not Kiss nails. I had purchased some fun green Kiss nails for this video. I do not know where they are in the chaos of all the madness of the moving, not moving, moving, not moving. These were in a tub with a bunch of other nails that I had purchased off of Amazon at one point. They will not stay on my fingers. I put them on yesterday, knowing that they would be short term, but I still did all the normal prep and things that I normally do. My Kiss nails will stay on for 2 weeks or more if I take care of them. Every single one of these nails has fallen off within 24 hours, some of them twice, and I've had to put them back on. And it's not because of the glue, because I'm using Kiss Nails glue. It's because of the shape. They don't fit your nails. So whatever flex technology Kiss Nails talks about, it works. If you need some fake nails, the link is down in my bio. Get yourself some Kiss Nails, because trust me, if you're a fake nail wearer, they just work better than all of the rest. And I've tried all of the rest, and I'm not going to out what brand this is. Just know that you just need to buy the Kiss Nails. Okay, that's that for that page. Here you can see my pink marker, my pink Ohuhu is coming through a little bit here. We're going to flip back to the quarterly pages for the Sterling Ink Common Planner because that's where my trackers are. I had started off using that marker here at the beginning and I switched to the lighter shade of the dot marker for this. The bar graph is my sleep. The solid line is my steps. The dotted line is my water intake. Over here, I had been doing a sort of Kanban board for my video productions. And I think everyone who's watched for the last 4 or 5 weeks knows that schedule's been wildly disrupted by illness, spine, and now move, not move, move, not move. I didn't do anything in there for February. We might come back and put in something for March, but some green on this so that we can have our trackers ready to go because I am using this page. And then maybe I'll come back in and start getting my video production for the month of March outlined in here. And to do that, I'm just going to use some of the stickers that we created. We're going to keep this consistent with a little bit of a dandelion theme and put these gum boots, garden boots, Wellingtons, rain boots, whatever you call it, your culture, right down there. When we have that ready to go, I will use these colors for the same trackers for the month of March. And we're ready to come back here to our daily pages. A couple of things. This is February. In February, I had done a highlight and then actually used some stamps as my headers. I'm not going to do that because my stamps are in a box. And then I also had changed up February from January, in that in January I had done my powers and my energies based off of my core values and my elemental life operating system. Over here I had done some reflections. In February I still had my power and energies, but here's where I put the voices in my head as opposed to the reflection. I'm going to go back to having the reflections, but I'm not going to put what worked, what didn't work, more or less feelings. I want my reflections to match each of my elements so that I'm reflecting individually on each one of these areas when I get to the end of the month. I think that's something that's really going to work for me. It's a hybrid of what I started doing this year already. I think that's gonna be the format that we want to do. And so then I'll put the voices in my head just behind the cover page like I have before. The voices in my head being my brain dump page. Let's go ahead and get our cover page tipped in. Again, here is that cover page. It's curling up on me a little bit, but it'll spend a day or two in my journal and it'll flatten itself back out. To tip that in, I am just going to use this card that came with some planner stickers I had ordered, as well as some Scotch tape. I did find some Scotch tape in my moving supplies. It is the same type of tape that I was using. I don't think it is actually the same roll because that probably got tossed into a box with everything else that lives on my desk. To do this, we're going to get her tucked way in there. Oop, it came loose. And then just stick that in there on both sides. And we'll do a piece down here and we'll do a piece on the other side as well. There are lots of ways to tip things in, but I do like the magic tape because it just disappears. You can use washi tape, whatever works best for you. And that'll hold it in perfectly just that way. I'll put a piece here on this side. And on this side, I stick one in the middle just to reinforce it. And as it sits in my journal, that little corner that's trying to curl up on me is going to start behaving. And this just lives up here in the front pocket. You see, I don't put a whole lot of tchotchkes and stuff. I keep my stencils in here. I keep the pens in here. I have a lot of cutesy cards or any of that in here. That doesn't mean that one day they won't end up there. Okay, I know what we're going to do. Gold pen, draw a line down the middle like I normally do. I'll let that dry a little because that's going to be a little juicy. We're going to highlight a couple of headers. 4 really. Then I'm going to put my elements down this side with 5 spaces in between. I don't want to overwhelm myself. I really want to narrow myself down to 1 to 5 items within those elements that I want to focus on for the month. Even though we've got this dividing line, I want to make sure that we know that the reflections are going to carry over from each one of these as well. I'm probably going to put maybe some dots across there just to make it clear what's in this section for each one. So again, this is going to be my goals and plans for the month under each one of my elements, and then my reflection at the end of the month around each one of my elements and what those goals were. Stuck a little clip there to keep our corner down so it'll stop getting caught on my sweater. I decided against the dots because I thought it would just be too busy, because I'm also going to put some dots down here on the side for my to-do list items for the month. And then I'm not going to put any bullet points here because I want my reflections to be more free flow thought. I think this should be enough room. It'll be the first time we're trying it, so we hope that it works. Definitely think that having them side by side is a great idea for me. This is just going to be a space for me to wrap up thoughts for the entire month, and this is a space for me to put in events for the month. And I'm going to put some dots down there as well. I have some maybe items on my list as far as events for March, personal events, not work-related events. I don't necessarily have those nailed down in stone yet, basically because I've put everything on hold until I can get moved. I've told all my friends, we just gotta wait until I can get from point A to point B and start getting unpacked. I am going to turn the journal so that we can fill some of this in. Now, if you are new to my entire elemental operating system, each one of these elements is tied to an area of my life. Earth is home and hearth, air is career and creativity, fire is my relationships, water is health and wellness, and spirit is spirit. My core value for spirit is adventure, but this is where I play things like personal learning and travel and all of that sort of thing. I do have some things that I'm going to put in here. Mainly for home and hearth, it's going to be getting moved, right? So I am going to try to decide if I'm going to do some painting or if I'm going to wait to do that. I do rent, so I tend to paint things back, but I do not like the general contractor khaki sort of brown that they stick on the walls in these apartments. I live with it in a lot of the rooms, but not all of the rooms. I want to be completely unpacked by the end of the month. I want the kitchen to be at 100%. Then I have some things that are going wrong with my vehicle, and I need to get a car estimate. That falls under Home and Hearth. It's one of those things that's causing a lot of undue stress in my brain. So at some point in the month, I do need to take it in and get it checked. For AIR, which is Career and Creativity, I have a Board of Trustees meeting. Most organizations have some sort of Board of Trustees, Cabinet, Board of Directors, that sort of thing. We are hosting that meeting for March, and that is in my wheelhouse. That's what I do. I need to wrap up all of the plans and make sure that 2-day meeting is executed to the best of my ability. I also want to come up with a Dots and Beyond Q2 plan. Like we said before, my video production schedule just got shot to hell with everything that's been going on. I need to get that back up and running, and I need to get to my Patreon perks on the schedule that they need to be as well. For Fire, which is relationships, there are 2 older ladies that are great friends from an organization that I used to work for, and they want to have lunch sometime in March. I told them I got to get moved first, so we are going to do that. I try to call my mom on Wednesdays. I'm really bad at remembering to call my mother. Call your mother if you haven't talked to your mother in a while. I want a girl night out with my cousin, and then Kenny and I now need to start arranging dates, mother-son dates, because he no longer lives here, where we can plan his bullet journal for an upcoming month, or we can just catch up and talk. We're going to try to figure out that plan as well. For my water element, which is health and wellness, I had to put off some dental appointments that I had in this first quarter because of the thing with my spine and the position that I was going to be in. So I have those rescheduled. I have, if you saw my plan with me, an appointment with my new primary care physician this week. So I'll need to follow up on any instructions that my new PCP gives me. And as we get through the month of March, eventually I'll be living alone. My nest will be empty. And when that happens, I want to switch my HelloFreshes over to at least half vegetarian most of the time, just for health and wellness purposes, for my heart, for weight, all of those things. And then I need to start getting some more movement into my daily plan. For my spirit, this is things that I'm going to do for me, things that I want to do for me, as long as our weather holds out and it doesn't get all rainy and stormy in March. We do have a very large hill here. They call it a mountain. It's not a pinnacle. I'd like to take a good pinnacle walk. Take the easy trail up, not the hard trail up. Study Ostara, because we'll be switching into that Sabbath during the month of March. I want to learn a bit more about that. And then I'd like to do a thrifting day for myself. Once I get into this larger space, I already have a list of some things that I would like, and I do prefer to thrift many of those things rather than purchase them. Go on a thrifting day. That's also one of those things that I just very much enjoy. I will pick an area or a city and go hit all of the thrift stores in that area on a Saturday. That is it for my power and my energies. Like I said, I have a couple of things that are on the bubble for March that I can get in here hopefully after I get past this weekend, and I can get them inked in instead of penciled in on my calendar. And then the only other thing we have to do is to set up a place where I can drop my thoughts. Our brain dump page, or the page that I call the voices. I am going to go ahead and segment this in half. I have found that it works a little better for me to write in short bits. That way I don't feel like the page is a little too overwhelming for me. We're going to split it in half. Go ahead and put a header up here at the top. Again, that just says the voices. That was not straight at all, and that is a-okay. Then I'm going to segment the page with a gold line. All right, that is it, y'all. That is our setup for March of 2024, which is the theme of the Emerald Door. I might stick some stickers in here just to liven it up, but otherwise we have these pages ready to go for my daily reflection. We are ready to go for the monthly memory keeping again that I keep in here, as well as writing in my stats on the first day of the month. Don't forget, you can grab the Emerald Door Planner Kit from my Patreon, which is linked below. Again, you do not have to be a patron to download that. You can purchase that separately without being a member at all. If you liked this video, please give me a big thumbs up. Give me a second big thumbs up for the fact that we're finally getting moved. Wish me well this weekend. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch you in the next one.